Today I'm tying a 1/8 jig with a minnow profile, and we're adding 3 colors. Stay tuned. So today in the jig we're going to put a 1/8, what I call a football head. It's a jig that I've tied before. It's a perfect jig, both in size and presentation, for perch. It has a really nice minnow profile to it, so I call it a football because it's shaped like a football, pointy on the front and pointy towards the back, as opposed to the bass style jig. So let's switch over. And this jig is a 1/8. I put it towards the tip of my vise because this is a Mustad 32762. It's a number 6 hook. So it's fairly short, and because of the profile of the head itself, also takes up some of that space on the hook shank, creating a actually very short jig body. So let's swap out our thread, and I have some 2/0 Danville nylon thread. This is just a red. As you can see, I'm getting near the end of my spool. Lock the thread on as normal. A few reps towards the bend of the hook, and then back up to the head. So for this jig, it's going to be a 3-color pattern. Basically a green chartreuse on the top with a white middle, and then an orange bottom wing. Just a flashy color, probably represents a small perch. This is a new tail, so I'm going to find a section on it that is where I want to start. I'm going to take a fairly small pinch. Try to divide the colors into a third, a third, a third. Just like with bucktail, when we take our pinch and snip it, we pull the hairs out of the base of the pinch, and then I can switch my grip. And calftail doesn't usually need a lot of stacking, but I do remove the 1 or 2 hairs that are much longer, or they're just sticking out all over the place. So we want this, with this jig head, we want the length of the tail to be twice the length of the body past the bend of the hook. So on this vise, that third marking is what I'm really aiming for each time I tie a jig, so they're identical. Make sure that I get all the hairs that I want out of this. This has to be a sparse pinch. We are adding 2 other colors to this. Switch hands and keep this pinch tight throughout the entire process. Add our, that was 3 reps towards the bend of the hook, 3 reps back towards the head, and we can give this a twist. Now this is a little bit harder to do, to grab the thread and twist, just because of the size of the hook itself. But you just get it around to what becomes the top of the jig. White is our next color. This tail I've already started, so I have some space here. Again, about a third of a pinch. Now this jig is primarily something I would use fishing perch in the summer. And occasionally I'll bring one along ice fishing. And again, use it for perch. And once you have the measurement that you want, you change your grip one last time. That was 4 wraps towards the bend of the hook, 2 wraps back to lock it on. I use my thumbnail and push it straight down. It helps it just wrap around that hook shank just slightly. This is the middle color. And then finally our orange. This is a very simple jig. What becomes challenging is the size itself. And again, restacking. I've been battling this cold. There's a video that'll be coming out around the 10th. I don't recall right off the top of my head, but a lot of editing, a lot of coughs, a lot of clearing my throat. I'm sure you can hear my throat's sounding very hoarse right now. Just trying to relax, take it easy. And I always sit and tie, so doing something fun. I love fishing these football head jigs. The minnow profile just is a really popular way to present the jig, and I've caught all sorts of fish. And even a jig this size, at the few lakes that we go to here in central New York, small pike and pickerel will hit this, which is awfully exciting when you're fishing it on 4-pound lines. So there's a couple wraps towards the bend of the hook, and I'm just making sure that I get the last wrap towards the bend of the hook. I want them to line up nicely, and then I walk my thread towards the jig head, and I can finish this as normal. This is a very, very simple jig. There's not much to it. It is very productive. And something can be said of the colors, but also of that profile, that minnow profile. Before I finish the collar, I like to take it out of the vise. I just lift the hair up and drop it so it centers itself on the hook point. And like I said, this is a jig that's pretty popular here in central New York State, in and around Homer, in and around the Binghamton area. Many of the small lakes that are just filled with perch and bluegill and crappie. There we have it. Occasionally I'll add tinsel to this, but usually the 3-color combination, and I think the red, to be honest. That red thread also attracts the fish. It's a very pretty jig, and it will catch fish all day long. I think that'll do it for us today. If you enjoyed what we did here, go ahead, add some comments down below. I do my best to read all the comments and respond as best I can. Feel free to share any of the videos that I do. It not only improves awareness to the channel, but also increases the subscriber rate. So I think that'll do it for us today. As always, hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss any new content. Keep tying and tight lines.